Hello everyone, this is Selkek, also known as Paulaelia, and welcome to Garry's Mod. It's been a while since I've done a Garry's Mod video, but I wanted to make one. I've been playing some Garry's Mod all on my own, and I figure it might be good to do a quick video and kinda just talk about some of the stuff I personally have been enjoying with Garry's Mod. So I'm going to just fly up here real fast. And the first thing I want to show off, there's a mod that used to be available on Garry's Mod. It's quite old. Some of you who've watched some of my older videos might remember it, but it is the radial menu mod. It's been rebuilt, all brand new, and it is quite nice. So I have just the X key on my keyboard bound to bring up this menu. And I can just quick select. If I want the weld tool, I just pull down, I get weld tool. If I want the remover tool, fizz gun, the fizz gun, no collide tool, the SBEP part spawner or the part assembler. And I can just very quickly do that, push the button, and get the tool I want. There's this customization menu. You can add whatever tools you want to it. You can change the appearance and whatnot. I've made mine so that you can see here it glows purple when you hover over it to match my fizz gun. And this is just like a super fabulous tool because these are the tools I use the most. The fizz gun, the precision tool, wire advanced, no collide weld, part spawner and assembler, and remover tool. Those are the main tools that I use most when I'm building stuff. And now I've got them on this quick select menu. So that is awesome. I'm going to show more stuff. The whole video is not just that. But if you want to get it, it's available through Steam Workshop. Just search radial menu. You can get it. It's awesome. I really recommend it for anyone who does a lot of building and using tools, especially the part spawner and assembler. For whatever reason, if you're on the part spawner, you can right click and switch to the part assembler, but then you can't go back to the part spawner. It is so dumb. So now you have this quick menu to do it. So that's good. Anyway. What I want to talk about is, of course, Stargate stuff, because I absolutely love Stargate, and I just absolutely love this mod. It is a great mod. There's so much you can do with it. It is so faithful to the show. It's great, just great. That's all I have to say. It's great. So let me see here. Where's the? I wish this menu was bigger. Where's just like the default stone steps? There it is. Okay. So I'm just going to set up here a couple of gates. And I'm going to rename this gate. Something that I can remember. Something like A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's something easy to remember and relatively easy to input on the DHT. Just ABC 1 2 3 pound and you're good to go. Okay, so this will be our test gate up here. And I'm gonna whoop and whoop, jump down. So you can of course just do that. That is a perfectly functional Stargate. The DHD acts as an infinite power source unless the DHD gets damaged. The Stargate itself, as you can see, I could bring up the menu. It's just all the default settings. So that is basic Stargate. Go. Just that's how that works. But let's say I wanted to do something similar to how the Stargate works in the SGC on the show. If you're not super familiar with the Stargate show, what it is only the Stargate was found on Earth. There was no DHD nearby. So the people had to develop a way to hook the Stargate up with Earth electricity and control it via a computer crystal interface hooked onto the gate, which they managed to do. So that's good for them. So what you can do is I'm holding C, by the way, to get the menu up and get the mouse, so I can right click on the gate, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set point of origin to Earth. That's just a purely cosmetic thing. It will cause it to always go for the Earth symbol there. for the point of origin. You can click SGC type on there, and that will it's now been enabled. And that changes it so that the gate always dials where it does the spinning, and it chunks and spins and chunks over and over again. I'm also going to disable auto close and disable menu. And that's all I'm going to do. So now when I come up to this gate, hold on, before I disable the menu, I'm going to give my Stargate a name. I'm gonna name this after myself. This is gonna be Paul 01. Sure, Paul 01. Okay. So there we go. Now I'm gonna disable the menu. So there we go. So I've given the Stargate a name, and I've given it, and I've set it up so that it is an SGC Stargate. So it now needs a computer to tell it what to do. Well, you could just spawn a dial home device and use that. But where would the fun in that be? Let's build a computer that can do this. So let's see here. I want to go the part spawner, and I want to get myself a little station here. This is gonna be my DHD. The my version of a DHD. So let's get the very, very basics of Stargate use out of the way first, and then we will do the complicated stuff. And there'll even be a little scripting if you want. So I like to use what is called text entry under keyboard. So input, output, keyboard interaction, text entry. I have my hold length set to 3. It doesn't really matter as far as I can use, as far as I can tell. You can set it up to be used in a vehicle, and if you're sitting on a seat. We're not doing that though, so I'm not gonna have that set. And I'm just going to plop it right there. Bam. So what happens when you walk up, you push E, it asks you to enter text, and you can just type and hit enter, and it will save that value inside itself and output it across wire things. So I'm going to wire advanced, and I'm going to go to dial string on the gate. So the dial string is going to go to the output string of the keyboard. That's great. So if I come on the keyboard and if I type ABC 1 2 3 and hit enter, it's going to dial. No, it's not. Because you need a button. You need a button. I'm going to make this a big green go button. It does not need to be toggle. I'm going to go ahead and plop this right there. And then wire advanced. I almost scrolled for it. Start string dial is an input. You need to wire that to a button. Okay. And there is one thing you need to know. So the address of that gate up there, if I hover over it, you can see there on the left, it says ABC123. It's part of the MAT group. We are part of the MAT group, so we don't need to worry about dialing the group. We can just dial it directly. So we come in here, we type ABC123, but we need to dial the point of origin. The point of origin is always pound symbol. So ABC123 pound symbol, push the button, and what's that? It's still not working. Stargates require power. So the final thing you need for the absolute basic Stargate is some form of power. Now, if you have Space Build installed, you can do this very easily. You can have a generator hooked up, and you can, well, for whatever reason, I'm on a fuel cell or something like that, but you can get a wind generator or whatever and plug it directly into your Stargate. Or if you're feeling a bit cheaty and you want to pretend you're Atlantis or whatever, you can come in here and you can get a ZPM. There we go. We'll go ahead and plug it in. Bam. Now, we want to go ahead and link the two of those together. And now the gate is active. So that's all it takes for a very, very basic Wiremod setup. You come in here, you type in the gate address, you make sure you have your power turned on, and you push the button. And as you can see, the Stargate is not draining a ton of energy out of the ZPM hub. And because it is set to SGC mode, it is a forced slow dial. So this, you know, will take however long it takes, and it should connect up to there. Two more to go. So it's nearly there. I can hear it. While it is doing that, I'm gonna go. Oh, there it goes. Connection made. Okay, but remember, it's not set to auto close. So I'm gonna get another non-toggle button, and I'm gonna plop it down. This one's red, and there's a option here for close. And I'm gonna go ahead and set close to this button, so I can run through this. Normally, after a Stargate detects something that has passed through it, it has I think it's like a 10-15 second timer, and if nothing else comes through, it shuts itself down automatically. You can see here that it has not, so I can take my time. I can run through again if I wanted to, and it's not gonna shut down. This is show behavior. The SGC has the capability of just having their Stargate on without sending anything through it, because theirs is such manual computer controls. And if I come up and if I push this button, bam, turns it off. Okay, I'm gonna move this over here because it is kind of loud. Okay, so that is the super basics. For those of you that are familiar with Wiremod, you'll know all about how there are memory chips and how there are, you know, ways of storing data, and so you can build yourself a tiny computer where you can have like a list of Stargate addresses that you've stored in your computer, and then you can select one and hit the dial button and go. That's a bit out of scope for what I'm trying to show here. That's more of a Wiremod tutorial. It's not super difficult to get going, depending on your ease of using Expression 2 gates and whatnot. But I do want to show something I've done previously in Wiremod. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get myself here a screen. It's facing the wrong direction. Do I have it set to weld to surface? And it doesn't say if it will. Okay, I'm just gonna spawn it and float it. It doesn't matter. You can use this build. So this is a text screen. Unlike the normal screen, this receives a text string input. And I'm gonna load up an Expression 2 chip I have here. Oh, look at that. I just got an achievement for playing for 1 week. Jeez. Okay, so this is an Expression 2 chip I have made. And I'm just going to wire it up quickly. So I'm going to put the string onto that. And so here is what it displays normally. So this will display the address that you're currently dialing. This will display the number of chevrons that have been lit up, and this will display the current symbol you are trying to dial. So we've got 0 currently locked in, and we're going for A first because we're dialing ABC 1, 2, 3. So when we hit A becomes locked in on the address, and now we're going for B. So this is how this script works, and it will do this for each and every letter, and this will count all the way up to 7, and we'll have ABC 1, 2, 3 with the pound sign at the end. I'm gonna go ahead and just turn this off for now, because if I zip up here and have this Stargate dial me, come down here, you can see that the script knows that there is an incoming wormhole. And if I have the gate address set to be the dialing address, it will even tell me which gate has dialed in. So this is something that I don't think they could do on the show. At least not in the beginning seasons. They might have somehow managed to have this in the later seasons, but usually when there's no caller ID typically on a Stargate, but you can have it on here using the Wiremod system, which I suppose they did have it because this is just, we'll turn this off. So when I push the button and turn it off, screen resets back to the outbound dialing mode. There was a when a Stargate calls another Stargate, the DHD lights up in the symbols of the Stargate that it is calling, so it does know who is calling it. The Earth computer did not have that functionality right away, I don't believe. I could be wrong. It's been a little while since I watched all the show. But no, I don't want that. I want expression 2. Let me show you the script. So this is it. This is all it is. It's fairly straightforward. I've got just 3 strings, 2 normal variables, and an output of a string. If the string is incoming, so if incoming equals to 1, the screen displays this. This /n means new line character in the string. It will do that on the screen. The screen does format it. Else, I just have this quick assembly list. I've got double N line spacing between the various aspects, and it just displays this information. It is super simple. And using this text screen, I mean, it's not the prettiest thing, but it works. I mean, it's clearly functional. You can read the text from an okay distance. If this were a big room or whatever, you could be on the other side of the room and still read the screen as things are happening. You can change the font size around depending on how much information you want to display. For all I know, you might want to have just one screen with loads of information all on it, and you might have really little text. That's totally fine too. But if we come in here, Wire Advanced, and look at the Stargate, you can see there are some other features here. There's a transmit input, so that you can send a string to the Stargate. And if I let me just pretend here, so I'm just going to select this gate address. You can see here on the output list there is a received string, so the Stargates can send strings to one another. So you can use that if you have 2 Stargates and you want to transmit information from planet to planet. Perhaps if you have some sort of computer networking system up and about, you can do that. It's more of just a role play thing, because obviously I can just open up chat here and type to other players. I don't have to transmit data to them. But if you're doing some sort of role play Stargate server, that's something you can do. Likewise, you see here there's there's what's called the ring symbol. So if I go ahead here and do let me come here to input address and do ring symbol. You can see it's flashing the symbols as it scrolls over them. So that could be something interesting if you wanted to have some sort of fancy display. So you can see here it's finding B. It's on B, and now it's going to search for C. It's going to flip through until it gets to C. So there's lots of cool things that you can do through Wiremod with the Stargate. You might have noticed when I pulled up my expression 2 list that I had a ZPM monitor script. This does something very similar, where it just has it's a hookup for a screen where it just displays the total energy from a number of ZPMs that you can plug into it. So you can have like a couple of screens side by side, and you can have energy. The ZPMs have a similar set of inputs and outputs, etc. So you can make it so that you can't. If I right-click on it, Oh, there's different skins for this. Apparently they don't do anything. Oh, I can't even select them. Well, you can disable use, which means that you can't just walk up and push the use key on them like that. You can disable the sound if you find the sound annoying. Probably the best use for it would be is I need a button here. Where's button? Button. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make it a toggle button. I'm gonna plop it down there, and I'm going to go to deactivate ZPM on that output. So when this button is 0, the ZPM is active. When this button is 1, the ZPM is off. And so you can do this. And if you were to disable use, you'd have to use a button like this in order to activate and deactivate your ZPM. So you can, of course, walk up to it and take it out and carry it around. It is its own entity, as it were. And you can trade these and share these and whatnot. You can walk over, and it's just a simple touch, and it's back on. And then you push your button, and it goes back in. So you can set up with some fairly straightforward controls. I mean, I've got, what, 3 buttons, a keyboard, and then an optional screen here. And I have my Stargate all ready to go. It does get a bit more complicated, though, if you want to add in an iris. So let's go ahead and add in an iris. You can see here I'm going to null out, make these none by right-clicking on the buttons. And I'm going to click on my gate. So bam, I now have my super shiny iris. Come in here. There is a Stargate Iris computer entity. I'm going to attach this here. And you know what? Let's have it just visible here just so we can interface with it better. So let's take a look. It's got some inputs. It's got iris control. It's got GDO status, GDO text, which is a string. It's got an auto close option, don't auto open, close time, and disable menu mode. If I right click on it, no options on the right click, sadly. But if you push E on it, you can get the use computer, as it were. If you really don't want to, you can disable menu mode. It's probably a good idea if you just have a constant value laying around with the number 1 on it, so that you can just come in here and go, oh, we want to disable the menu, so that you, oh, apparently you can still open the menu even if you disable the menu. Interesting. Probably a bug. Whatever. I'm just going to show you the menu for now because all of these things are the same. So this code, you can come in here and you can set like 1, 2, 3, and you can give a description, like 1, 2, 3, and add that to the computer, and that will lock on here. So we want the iris to be auto closed. When someone sends a code through, it will trigger an auto open unless you check this box. So if you check this, it won't auto open the iris. What you would then have to do is you'd have to display the code. So what I could do here is, instead of the input address being something on the gate, I could have the input address be the code description. So it'll say dialing address, but it'll actually display the code. I'll just demonstrate this in a minute. Oh, I didn't save. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Add that. Auto close. Let's save that. Let's go ahead and add a quick button here. Let's make it blue, I guess. And we'll go ahead and we will make this iris control on the button. If I remember correctly, this doesn't have to be toggle. You just, oops. You just push the button and it causes the iris to change. So if you wanted to manually control the iris, you could. So I'm going to fly up here. And I'm going to dial that gate down there. And you can see that the iris automatically closes the instant it starts receiving the Stargate signal. Under MISC weapons, there is the GDO. So this, the GDO stands for Garage Door Opener. It's what tells the Stargate to open it. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to give it 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to click, left click, I right click to open the menu, send 1, 2, 3. You can see, bam, it has opened. And if I jump through and run here, oh, the screen changed, so I wasn't able to see it. But it would have you can set it up to display. It would have said 1, 2, 3 as the user. So you can come into your thing and you can set up a number of iris codes that are acceptable and give them a description. So each person can have their own code, and then you can have the people type in their specific code, and then you can see it will come up and be like, Paul is trying to come through, or Joe is trying to come through, or Jane is trying to come through, and then you can decide whether or not you want to let them come through or not. As you saw on the little graphic here, when you send your GDO signal, you get a bounce back from this box. So it would send the code 1, 2, 3, and then it would said opened. And when it says opened, that means the iris has been opened. So if it wasn't set to be auto open, you would send your code and then you'd wait until you received the opened signal from the box before you step through, because you have to make sure that it's safe to go through. So that is that. That is, and as I said, all of the stuff is available through wire inputs. So you can, of course, make this all with wire stuff and have it be ultimately configurable. Okay, so that is Stargate computer Wiremod stuff. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. And I mean, just run from it from there, basically. Like, you can see here that the ramp itself has inputs. It can give off smoke. Let's wire up smoke. Push this button. You see it smoking. Release the button. Release the smoking. Activation alarm. Is it not going off? Okay. Well, some of the ramps have like an alarm where they actually like play the warning noises from the show and stuff like that. It's really awesome. You can see that the iris itself, you can have a toggle on it, or just a straight activation switch. If you don't want to bother with a iris control computer, you can just straight wire your iris with a button and do that manually. Obviously the computer is better because then you can use your GDO remote to get into your own base if you need to be. But that is everything I wanted to share in this video. So in the comments section, let me know if there's anything you want me to do in the next video, and I will see you guys next time.